Good morning, Connie. Good to see you. I think you're still on mute, but I think you might have said, "How are you doing?"
I did, and now I'm not on mute.
Still can't hear you, but it
Okay.
looks like you're off mute. That's very odd. Hi, Nate. Hi, Betty.
Still can't hear me?
Everyone's on mute. I'll see if I can unmute people.
Oh, there we go. I was on mute. I can hear you, Connie.
You can hear me. Okay.
There. Can you hear me now?
Oh, you know what? It was
Yes.
my volume was not on. You weren't necessarily on mute. I didn't have my volume on.
There are so many details to take care of.
Always, yes.
I was conducting a meeting last Sunday during that big Zoom shutdown, and of course we didn't know it was a big Zoom shutdown, and
Dear.
all 22 people trying to log in, and what is going on?
Ugh.
So it was reassuring afterwards to find that it wasn't us.
Imagine. Hi,
That
Trish.
seems.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Sorry,
Good morning, Trish.
need to
Hi,
interrupt.
Trish.
Just seems to be part of the experience of working on Zoom, all the technology issues.
It does.
Hello, Danielle. Welcome. Good to see you.
And
Good to
Chris
see
is
you.
joining us. Welcome, everyone. Good morning.
Hello.
Morning.
And this morning, we were talking about Zoom interruptions. We could have some heavy rainfall. We'll see if that affects connectivity issues at all. We'll roll with whatever, right?
Right.
We will.
What else can you do?
A few weeks ago, when we had the password hiccup for getting into this, a few of us were joking about how we moved from meditation 101 training up to meditation, I don't know, 601, the advanced level, to practice sitting with that unfortunate technical glitch.
That's it.
Well, should we wait a couple more minutes before we officially begin? Or just go for it?
I vote no. I will just say this. What you just said reminded me of the Rumi poem, "Life is a guest house," welcoming all visitors.
Right.
I'm going to just tell you ahead of time that I have to ditch out. I have a client at 11, but I just wanted to come for the time I could.
Thank you for that. Hopefully this will help you feel more prepared for a meeting with your client. Well, I get to lead us today. I'm quite excited. We're going to do, as best as I can do, kind of a pure mindfulness-based meditation. So really helping us practice getting into that state of, well, I don't know if I would say it a state, but just practicing mindfulness or that awareness. And to use a phrase that many people heard, meditation at best, I think, is that intentional practice of non-judgmental awareness of the present moment. So intentional, non-judgmental awareness of the present moment. And we'll focus a little on our breath and probably some emotions, but mostly we'll just be focusing on practicing mindfulness. So go ahead and get in probably a seated position or some sort of position where you can feel both relaxed and alert. So that might mean having your spine a little straighter than maybe usual, feeling like your sit bones are right underneath you, supporting you well. And you can, if it's comfortable, close your eyes. And if not, maybe have a nice soft gaze that's a little bit in front of you and maybe a little bit downward. And we'll begin today with a nice deep breath. And as you take a deep breath and the breaths that follow, to just notice what it feels like to breathe. Any of the sensations on your nose or mouth or throat. Any movement in your body. Notice your chest or stomach maybe rising and falling. And just take a moment to notice or to be mindful of breathing. What it's like to let the air in and let the air out, or pull the air in and push the air out. And as you are noticing or being mindful of breathing, remind yourself there's no need to be judgmental. If judgmental thoughts arise, which they probably will, to just notice those thoughts. Whether it's a thought that, oh, I'm doing this incorrectly, or I'm doing a bad job of this, or I'm doing this the right way, or I'm doing a good job of this. To just notice those thoughts. And throughout the meditation today, you can always bring your mind, your awareness, back to your breath. If your mind wanders into thoughts about the future, or thoughts about the past, you can notice your mind doing that. And then gently, with lots of patience and love, you can bring your mind back to your breath. Noticing again all the same sensations that you noticed before, and maybe noticing new ones. And you might notice your mind wandering again. And your mind will wander many, many times in today's meditation. And no need to judge yourself for that. In fact, that's the way that mindfulness meditation works. There's no need to control your thoughts or change them. No need to cling on to thoughts. No need to try to repress or block out thoughts. But instead, simply notice yourself with whatever thoughts are going on. And then gently, with lots of love and patience and kindness, you can always bring your thoughts back to your breath. Just noticing what it feels like to let the air in, let the air out, or pull the air in and push the air out. And again, each time your mind wanders, just practice noticing that it's wandering. If it moves to the future, thinking about what you might have for lunch, or your task list, or what you will do this weekend, or next year, or 10 years from now, or any of the myriad of thoughts about the future. Just notice your mind thinking about those things. You could even say to yourself, oh, I'm having a thought about the future. Or, oh, my mind is jumping into planning mode. Or, oh, I'm noticing that I'm feeling apprehensive about my to-do list. Or whatever the thought might be. You might recognize that this is mindfulness meditation, the practice of noticing or being aware. And then you can, with lots of gentleness, love, patience, and kindness, bring your mind back to your breath. Just noticing, being aware, being mindful. Maybe your mind moves into the past, memories, distant or recent. Maybe thinking about something that happened this morning, or something that Nate just said. Maybe that embarrassing thing that you said 10 years ago that easily surfaces in your mind. And whatever the thought might be, and any feelings associated with that, just notice them. Maybe say to yourself, I'm having a thought about this memory. Or I'm judging myself about this. Or I'm experiencing joy or excitement or fear or sadness as I'm having this thought or this memory. And again, wherever your mind is at right now, just notice it. And then with lots of gentleness and patience and love and kindness, you can bring your mind back to your breathing in the present moment. And again, you might notice that this is the process of mindfulness meditation. That if I'm thinking about the future, when I notice myself thinking about the future, I return to the present moment. I'm having a thought about the future. I'm having feelings about the future. And if your mind is in a thought about the past or a memory, that when you notice yourself having that thought, that feeling, that memory, that is mindfulness meditation. Being aware of that. And just that noticing brings you back into the present moment. I'm having a memory. I'm having a thought about the past. You might have noticed that your body and mind have settled a little bit. Maybe your breathing is a little slower. Maybe your thoughts are a little more still. If that's the case, just practice noticing that. Maybe your thoughts are moving quickly or racing. Maybe you're not feeling settled. Maybe your heart's beating faster than it was before. If that's the case, simply notice that. No need to judge yourself or try to control or change it. You can always, when you notice yourself having a thought or feeling or sensation, bring your mind back to your breath. Maybe you've noticed how at times you can control your breath and focus on it. You can breathe a little slower, a little deeper. You can choose the duration of how long you breathe in or breathe out, the speed, the frequency. You can, if you want, even hold your breath. And each time you step into control your breath, there's many potential helpful things and many things that might not be helpful about that. You might notice that as you breathe a little slower, a little deeper, a little more gently, a little smoother, your body might feel more relaxed. It might slow down. You might notice that as you breathe a little more intensely, with greater frequency or vigor, that your body becomes more alert, more attentive. You might notice that there are not many things that can help us relax more or become more activated than our breathing. And as your mind has now wandered off to other places, you might notice how you can let go of control of your breathing, not even be thinking about it or be aware of it. Yet it will still happen, usually at a very appropriate pace and rhythm for your current needs. And as we continue this mindfulness meditation, Your mind has no doubt wandered off to many places. And each time it thinks about something new or returns to something it has been thinking about, just practice noticing where your mind has gone. Maybe your mind is noticing new things. And maybe your ability to notice things has increased a little bit. You might notice any sounds in the room. Any smells or tastes. Maybe the temperature of the air or any air movement. Or what it feels like to be wearing the clothes that you're wearing, sitting in the position that you're sitting. Maybe any tensions or pressures inside your body, or areas that feel relaxed. And then again, at any point, feel free to bring your mind back to your breath. And each time you notice a sound, a smell, a taste, a feeling of something external to your body, or anything inside your body, to just notice that. No need to judge or be critical. In this current moment, probably no need to control or try to change, but simply notice. Be aware of it. Pay a little bit of attention to it. Observe it. And then whenever you feel the intentional desire, you can return your mind back to your breath. You might notice, as you continue to practice being mindful, at noticing things, at simply observing things without feeling a need to judge or control, that you are a little more in tune to what's happening inside your body or other things going on outside your body. You might be aware of emotions or sensations that previously were inaccessible. You might notice that with emotions like sadness or fear or joy or any of the other myriad of emotions, that they tend to come and go like waves. According to research, the average duration of an emotion is about 90 seconds, with a wide range of duration and intensity. But emotions tend to build and then have a peak and then dissipate. Not unlike the experience of breathing in and breathing out. And with whatever you might be experiencing in the present moment, just take a moment to notice that. And notice that the emotion might swell and then dissipate. It might quickly come back, might be gone for a long time. You might notice that just like breathing, emotions always come back. You might also notice that emotions always leave too. And no matter what the emotion is, it will move through us and we are stronger than it. We can hold it, allow it to do its work, and allow it to leave. Much in the same way that we can allow our breath in and allow it to go, or pull the air in and push the air out. And again, if you notice yourself being judgmental or self-critical, to just notice yourself having those thoughts or that experience. And no need to judge yourself for being judgmental or to criticize yourself for being critical. But just notice whatever thoughts, feelings, sensations come into your mind, come into your body, and then notice them as they go. And notice now that we have about 30 seconds left in our meditation. And just notice any thoughts or feelings that come up with that awareness of our meditation coming to a close. Any excitement or relief or desire for it to be done, or any resistance or longing for it to continue, or any of the other myriad of emotions or thoughts or experiences that might come up with noticing that this meditation is ending. And one last time, you can bring your thoughts back to your breath. Maybe take a few deep breaths in and out and just notice that. You can start to move and stretch. If your eyes are closed, you can mindfully open them and bring your attention back to our group. Well, and now we get to transition for these last 10 minutes. We're on 9 minutes and 29 seconds to be able to talk for a little bit and really to explore what people's experiences have been like with this meditation, both the things that they liked, like, wow, I appreciated that, or things that they didn't like, oh, I don't like that, I don't want to do that again, or any learnings or meanings that came from this, and or really anything that would be helpful to share with the group about your experience today that we might all benefit from hearing.
I found the part where you were talking about emotions and recognizing emotions really calming, helpful and calming. And, you know, there were a couple things that really stood out for me. I think you used the phrase, the work the emotions do. But the part that was calming was the notion of them really lasting a short period of time. And that was really a release of, you know, like long time fear that, you know, something's going to just hold on for a lifetime. Or that even when I'm not experiencing it, that I've just repressed it. I mean, so there was just something that was very nice about kind of that. What was the word that you even used about, was it rolling in, or what was the term that you used? Do you remember?
Something like that, kind of like
Yeah.
a wave.
Yeah, wave. And that's really nice, you know, I mean, because I can connect with pretty calm images about that. So that piece was really helpful to me.
Well, that's really nice to hear, and that was something that I wanted to get to, but then I thought, oh no, we're not yet getting to it. So I'm glad we got into the emotion piece.
That was interesting because at about that time I was feeling some anxiety. And I thought, oh, that's a relief. I know it's not going to last. And so I kind of watched it, and it did dissipate, came back, but then dissipated again. And I thought, this is really nice. And earlier in the meditation, I was feeling really calm. And I thought I'd try this little experiment. I thought I would try to think about my to-do list and try to think about lunch. And I found myself saying, no, I don't want to do that now. And I thought, this is good. I like this. That was helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm relatively new to meditation, so every meditation is kind of a new experience. And something that was really freeing this time was I realized that I spend a lot of time at the beginning trying to control my breathing, and I keep getting reminded during these meditations with you guys that I don't have to do that, that I can just notice my breath and not take control over it. And so that was helpful too. And also the notion that the point of mindfulness is not to get rid of the thoughts, but to notice them. Acknowledge them, notice them, and let them be. And notice and return to the breath, and notice and return to the breath. And the notion that an emotion only lasts 90 seconds, I kind of went, why didn't anybody ever tell me that? Why don't people know that? So that's gold, and I'm going to take that with me for sure. So thank you.
Yeah, I remember having the assumption that mindfulness was you're supposed to make your, or meditation, you're supposed to make your mind blank. And for years I had this picture like sitting in front of a white wall and for my mind to just be like that, which is not at all the case and not at all feasible, nor maybe desirable, even though maybe there's some practices that try to get you to do that. But so yeah, that was a huge turning point for me as well, recognizing, no, it's not about that. It's about just noticing wherever, just noticing what's going on.
And there's quite an acceptance in noticing too,
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like turning off the judgmental and turning on kind of like acceptance.
This is really nice to hear. It's one of the things that I struggle with like doing the guided meditations. I'm talking the whole time, and so it's really nice to be able to hear what is going on for folks. Sorry, Connie, you're.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go.
We'll see you another time. Thank you so much. But such rich experiences that people have, and so I really appreciate this last 10 minutes in particular, being able to hear what's going on. We have about 3 minutes left.
Well, I just wanted to express gratitude to both of you for doing this. I look forward to Saturday morning. And that one morning when I missed, it was terrible. So I'm really glad that I reconnected with you and keep doing it. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Is this a new thing relatively since COVID? And are you planning to continue it? I mean, we don't know when COVID's gonna end.
So Tom's on mute. I'll quickly speak to that. We don't have any plans to end this. I think our thought is we'll just keep doing this forever if needed. But yeah, and I think, I don't know, this is maybe our 7th or 8th one we've done. It's pretty new.
Yeah, it was born out of what we saw as a need for calm and community in the midst of this unprecedented time. Yeah, and I'm with you, Nate. Just as long as there's a need, I would love to keep doing this, and I'm glad it's useful, beneficial. I'm also with you, Nate, in that it's really nice to hear how it is impacting people.
Well, and maybe Trish and Betty, Krissa, Monica, you'll jump in and start leading at some point if you want. And so it doesn't have to be Tom and my thing as we move forward. So. Monica, were you about to share something?
I was just going to echo Betty's comment and say that I'm grateful also. It's a perfect time to, at least for me, to do it at 10:30 on a Saturday morning. It's a way to start my weekend on a better note. I live alone and I like the community aspect of this.
Well, next week, I think I'm going to do keeping a steady heart in the midst of COVID-19. That's my plan, at least. So.
Sounds very nice.
Thanks. Well, great to be with you all. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody.
Yes. We will see you next time.
We'll be here.
You too. Echo all the gratitude.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.